our secondary schools network meeting as part of Discover Ashfield and Succeed in Ashfield. It's always wonderful to see everybody on a Monday morning having these meetings. I'm Mr. McKinley. I'm the assistant head here at Selston High School, chairing this meeting, which is an absolute pleasure to do because you get to meet some wonderful people on this, both educators and employers and people with post-16 and people that work in education in very different and with Ashfield in very different positions. So I'm Mr. McKinley. I'm from Selston High School. Let's see everybody introduce themselves. So Nathan, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, no problem. So hi everyone, Nathan Nicholas, Senior Economic Development Officer. Working have a number of activities as part of my role. So offer business support, support delivery of our education skills plan, and promote Ashfield as a place for investment. And for purpose of this meeting, I provide admin support to yourself, Ross, to bring everyone together and hopefully share some insights and support individuals make meaningful connections as well. So yeah, that's me.
Brilliant, thank you. Christine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, I'm Christine Saris. I'm the Assistant Director of Planning, which also means that Nathan and co come within my remit as well. We're delighted to be able to support the secondary school network as well. So look forward to hearing from you all in due course.
Thank you, Christine. Kate Mawson, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Dr. Kate Mawson. I'm from NTU, based in education. We're here representing the university generally and our interests in Ashfield and Mansfield.
Looks like you're on a away day, miss. Bertie.
Yes, I think most people here know me or have seen me around. Yes, I'm Bertie. I'm a graduate economic development officer at ADC. So yeah, supporting Nathan with people and skills kind of thrust of what we do, which this falls under, and working with the schools as well through the Aspiring Careers program, which is being delivered by Michelle from Ideas for Careers, and I think she will speak later about that as well as some of the kind of university integration that we've got as well, kind of graduate grad consult working that as well. So yeah, great to be here again.
Thank you, Bertie. Liam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name's Liam Jackson. I'm the operational lead for Nottinghamshire for the MCA Careers Hub. So all things quality of careers education and enterprise in secondary schools and colleges.
Thank you, Liam. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've met you yet, Liam.
You too.
Matt, Matt, who would you like to introduce yourself, Matt Pennington?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Matt Pennington. I am the personal development lead at Diverse Academies Trust. I think I do know quite a few of you online actually already. So nice to meet you again, and nice to meet people for the first time.
Thank you, Matt. And Emma Walker.
Thanks, Ross. Hi, I'm Emma Walker. I am the area manager for the North Nottinghamshire region of Dancop, which I'll let you read above my head. We are the UniConnect partnership that sits across Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire and work with our schools across both counties.
Thank you, Emma. Michelle, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Taylor. I'm Managing Director of Ideas for Careers, working with Ashfield District Council, as Bertie said, on the Aspiring Careers Ashfield programme. And I've been invited along this afternoon to talk about that, so you'll hear more later on.
Thank you very much. Ruth?
Hello, I'm Ruth. I am one of the two DWP school advisors for Nottinghamshire, and I have been in some of the schools, and I've certainly met Bertie recently at Hucknall Sixth Form when we were doing mock interviews.
Fantastic. And Michaela?
Hi, I'm Michaela Gregory. I work at Bracken Hill as the careers lead and a class teacher, and we're an SEND school in Kirkby.
Fantastic. Laura?
Hello everyone, I'm Laura Bates. I've got a very long job title, so bear with me. I'm the Widening Access and Outreach Team Manager at Nottingham Trent University. So my team have a remit of pre-16 widening participation work within Nottingham City and Nottinghamshire County.
Fantastic. Sarah?
Hiya, I'm Sarah Vaughan, one of the wellbeing officers at Ashfield District Council. My remit is around children and young people and also Kirkby.
Thank you very much. Heather?
Hi, Heather. Well, hello to everybody. This is my first time with you. I'm careers advisor for Academy Transformation Trust Further Education. So just somebody that would like to join and see what help and support you might be able to give us at the same time as me sharing my thoughts with you. Okay.
Thank you, Heather. You're definitely the right place for these meetings. Lots of interesting things comes out of these meetings. So thank you for joining us. Really glad to see you here. And then we've got Gary.
Yeah. Afternoon. I'm the community engagement leader or one of them at ATTFE. I'm also working with Michelle with the Aspiring Ashfield programme and initiative.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's everybody that's in the call now at the moment, Nathan. Obviously, we might get a few more people arriving, but I think it's best if we move on. Thank you for everybody for introductions. It really helps when we're chatting and we know who's talking and who's doing what. So, do we have any apologies, Nathan?
Yeah, we've had a few that have declined the meeting. I can just quickly go through those and we record them in the minutes as well. So we've got Tracy Bird, Paul Crawford, Melanie Worat from Ashfield District Council, Lucian Kudakwashi from Severn Trent, Ayala Robson from Fountaindale School, and Emma Arbery and Julia Matthews from the East Midlands Combined Authority. Yeah, we've got 15 on the call today, so thank you everyone for joining us.
Fantastic. And Nathan, is there any actions from the previous meeting, any actions we needed to do before this? I think we've got the dates for the next meeting, haven't we? And that we're looking at doing it live at Sherwood Observatory. I think that was one of the main actions. Any other actions from that meeting?
There was a few, yeah. So yourself and Sophie asked for Bertie to send the data that it presents in the meeting, just to send it through as a PDF. So Bertie sent that through for the last meeting, and if it'd be worthwhile, I can send those through for future meetings as well. Bertie will provide an update later on. You asked around, the Ashfield Matters magazine to distribute out into local schools as well.
We did, yes.
Yeah, so that's that with our comms team at the minute. It hopefully is okay to do. They just need to check the distribution, and hopefully some copies can be sent to each secondary school as well, so students and teachers can see that activity.
Yeah, I think it wasn't really for. I know they go out to people's houses, don't they?
They do, yeah.
People's homes, but obviously I work in Ashfield, but I live in Derbyshire. So it'd be great if we put some in, if there's some in staff rooms of all the schools, we can see what's going on.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
That'd be great
to the schools.
Exactly. An easy win, doesn't it? Yeah. Easy win there, and then we can see what's going on. Right, brilliant, thank you. Obviously, we've gone past section 1 of the agenda now. We're going to move straight on to section 2, which is careers, activities, and updates and programmes. So I believe, Liam, you're delivering this one, which is the EMCCA Careers Hub updates. Am I correct, Liam?
Yeah, that's right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this one verbally, if that's okay. And if there's any questions, I can take those at the end. So. I missed the last one, so I'm going to give an update that I've given at a lot of these district ones, just so everyone knows the current state of play with the Careers Hub. I think most of the schools on the call are already aware of the Careers Hub, and hopefully have had chats about most of what's available this year through their enterprise coordinators. But as an introduction to the Careers Hub for you all, for those of you that don't know the Careers Hub, East Midlands Combined County Authority Careers Hub is the old D2N2 Careers Hub, just repackaged, rebranded. The local enterprise partnership that we used to sit within has now ceased to exist, and we moved in the Combined Authority over the summer. So the way that we operate, everything that we do as a Careers Hub is exactly the same. Your enterprise coordinators should mainly be the same, and the way that we do everything is similar. We're just in a different place. So that's the only change there. We, as of this year, are working with 175 institutions across Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, which is about nearly all of those that are eligible for us, including SEND, AP colleges, and mainstreams. As far as performance goes across the region, our main indicators of good quality careers education are the Gatsby benchmarks at the moment, and the average amount of benchmarks being achieved across the area is 6 out of 8 benchmarks, which is really high. And our region is considered one of the higher performing ones. We're in the top 10 in the country out of 44. That's a testament to the hard work that careers leaders and stakeholders have put into driving the quality of careers education. I've been around in this work now for about 6 years, and when I started it, I think the average benchmarks being achieved were 2 out of 8. So after just 4 or 5 years, it's now 6 out of 8, which is incredible and is a reflection of the massive efforts that everyone's gone to. So some great work there. And what that means in theory is that hopefully all of institutions and colleges in our region are delivering a better standard of careers education than we've seen in a very long time. And hopefully that's to the massive gains and benefits of young people, making sure that they can transition effectively onto their next steps. So,
look near the bridge.
Sorry, just got a bit of interference on there. Anyway, right, that's where we are. Next, I'm just going to talk through some of the projects that we've got going on this year, just highlight a few. I won't go into detail on all of them because you can speak to your enterprise coordinators about them if you want to. But we're doing quite a lot of developmental work with careers leaders this year to make sure that they're fully trained, informed and confident in their delivery. We're doing some work with AP careers leaders specifically on development of their knowledge. Same with SEND, same with FE as well, bringing them together as a community of practice, and also supporting careers leaders to attend the National Careers Leader Conference again this year, which is the 3rd year that we funded that. Open Doors, we are continuing to do. This is also in its 3rd year running now as well. And what we're looking for as far as collaboration with districts go with Open Doors is making sure that employers are aware of this opportunity and are opening up their doors to young people where they can. The slight risk we have if employers don't take this up is that the ones that do end up with a kind of a bit of a monopoly over the experiences young people are getting. So, for example, if we don't end up with any employers in Ashfield doing Open Doors, the schools may go to Nottingham or may go to other areas for their experiences. And of course, we have some interest in trying to make sure employers are on the map with young people in this area. So Open Doors is happening again. Teacher Encounters is also something we're doing again, seen as really important, making sure that our educators are aware of different pathways that are available so they can confidently have discussions with young people should they be asked as well. So we're doing a lot of work around Teacher Encounters this year too. We're doing more broadcasts again this year. There's one coming up in National Careers Week, which is about promoting different pathways and different providers to young people and careers leaders and parents and carers. Last year that had over 8,000 people attend, and this year we're doing that again. We're also doing community-based events. There will be one in Mansfield this year, which may be worth us sharing in Ashfield because it's not going to be too far for some people to go to. And that's going to be an apprenticeship awareness raising event. We are also doing quite a bit of work with SEND around trailblazing some programs around raising confidence, and quite a lot of work around trying to get supported insight schemes up and off the ground to help young people transition into and get some experience of the workplace. And finally, on projects, we are the other broadcasts that we're doing this year are focused around promoting certain sectors to make sure we can raise awareness of certain sectors in the region. One is early years and childcare careers. One will be transport and logistics and one will be hospitality. And I'll share the dates and times of those after. We're doing some curriculum development resources as well to also help teachers promote certain sectors as well that are important in this region. We're looking to develop a suite of resources for teachers in green skills, construction, digital and IT, hospitality, logistics, and early years careers. I will share these slides after for everyone to have a look at. Finally, am I okay for time? Just check in before I carry on. Don't know how long I've got for this actually. Hello?
Yeah, you're okay for time, Liam, about 5 minutes or so.
Apologise, I put myself, so I wouldn't introduce. Yeah, fine.
Okay, I'll carry on. Okay, so that's it for projects. And then finally, just a few other key points to note. For those of you that don't know, but I think nearly everyone in this space will now, the Gatsby review has just taken place and has become public recently. So if you're unaware of that, it's definitely something you want to have a look at. It's been the 10-year review of Gatsby. They've done a full review and they have made suggestions and some changes to the Gatsby benchmarks on what they think needs to take place and what they want to see over the next 10 years. So that's a that's a big report to come out. It hopefully will inform. Nice to see you've got your booklet there. Hopefully that will inform the government's career strategy, which is due to be reviewed in around springtime, we believe. The current news around it really is just to take your time, have a look at it. It's basically they want to see it as a celebration of the massive success and progress that's been made over the last 10 years. It's not to be seen as anything big and scary, and it's not about wiping the slate clean and starting again. It's about building on that success that's been seen over the last 10 years. Yeah, that's Gatsby. Other things going on in the Careers Hub. I think some of you on the call will be aware, if you've discussed it with your enterprise coordinators, there's a big shift towards the quality in things. Peer-to-peer reviews and the careers impact system are some of the main ways that we're looking to drive forward quality and help schools to review what they're doing and making sure that you're really having the impact and getting the outcomes that you want to get. So we're looking to do 21 peer-to-peer reviews with 21 institutions this year. So keep your eyes out for that, because I think moving forward, we'll see more and more of a focus on the quality of what we're doing as far as careers programs go. I'm not the expert on this, but some of you on the call, particularly those in the council, might be interested to hear about the Youth Guarantee Trailblazer, which MCA has been successful in getting. This will lead to quite a lot of reviews and looking at ways of working, helping neat people into the workplace and looking at how we improve local systems, things like that. Connected Futures, which is all around researching SEND and supporting systematic change in SEND, is preparing for phase 2, which is all around bringing together. It's got its own youth ambassadors, and they're informing a lot of work that will take place to strengthen SEND youth voice in the region, what takes place in careers, and looking at enhancing employer partnerships as well, bringing together different employers to look at how they support SEND. And finally, just a bit of a staffing change update as well, because I know that some people on the call will want to know who to get in touch with for certain things. As of January, Lana Jay, who some of you will know as the Strategic Hub Lead, she's got a new role from January as Head of Careers and Young People. We've had a bit of a staffing structure change in MCA. That is going to include oversight of the Careers Hub, the Youth Guarantee Trailblazer Programme, the Youth Advisory Panel for the East Midlands, and quite a few other initiatives as well. And as a result of that, there is a need to backfill the SHL position, which I'm pleased to announce. I'm going to be the Strategic Hub Lead from January. That's on an interim basis until June. So a few staffing changes there. That means as well that there will be an operational hub lead for Nottinghamshire that's hopefully appointed within the next few weeks. And we'll make sure you know who that is once they're appointed. And that's all from me. Any questions on any of that?
Any questions for Liam? Liam, please share. There's a lot. I was making lots of notes then. There's a lot going on. It says update. There's so many updates there. I can't believe. I think it's really exciting that we're in the top 10 in the country, Ashfield, for how we're meeting these Gatsby benchmarks and the progress as an area we've made. I've got a couple of hands up now. Heather, do you want to go first?
Yeah, that's okay. We're further education, obviously, and we're not linked to an enterprise coordinator. So how do we get involved in that for the Careers Hub?
Hi Heather. I don't think we've actually met face to face before, but we've exchanged emails before.
We have, yes.
As it currently stands, ATTFE is actually ineligible for Careers Hub support. However, in more positive news, with the Gatsby 10-year report that's just come out, there's huge amount of reference to independent training providers and other types of organisations, and I expect moving forward that hopefully we will be able to work more closely with you soon.
Okay. Can we have an email conversation about that then? Just to find out why when we are ineligible.
Of course, yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll put my email in the chat.
Thank you, Ian.
Christine, have you got a question?
It's not a question. I just wanted to say congratulations to Liam on his new role. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Liam.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, just share all that stuff with us, because there's lots there, lots for us to take on. Really, as a hospitality teacher myself, I'm really interested in the hospitality broadcasts. A new hospitality teacher. I've not taught it till this year, but 2 year 11 groups. So I'm really interested in that, because really interested in that, definitely. So just share that information in the chat or with the group. That'd be pretty fantastic. More questions for you?
What school are you at, Ross?
Selston High School.
Selston, okay.
Yeah.
You may also be interested to know there's something else I'm working on at the moment with the, don't know if they're called the Association of Hoteliers or something like that. There's a big organisation to do with hoteliers. The Nottinghamshire group want to look at partnering up with a lot of schools and colleges in the region to promote hospitality, catering, and a few other things. So there might be some quite exciting opportunities coming your way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That'd be brilliant. We'll work on that. Any more questions for Liam? Okay, we'll move on then. We'll move on to 2.2, Aspiring Careers Ashfield Programme updates from Michelle.
Hi there. I've just got a few slides, so I'm just going to try and get those up on the screen. Right, can you let me know if you can see those? Does anything come through?
You can see them, yeah.
You can?
Yeah, it's coming. I can see them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see those. Michelle.
Yeah, great. Okay, that's smashing. Okay then, so what I thought I'd do is just give you a little bit of an outline, because many of you are involved in this, but not everybody, and just share with you some of the successes we're having with Aspiring Careers Ashfield project. So, oops, why is it not doing that? Oh, right, for some reason it's not moving on. Oh, it is, but just slowly. Right, so Aspiring Careers Ashfield is a tender that we're delivering on behalf of Ashfield District Council with local government funding. It is an education business collaboration programme involving obviously employers, but also wider partners such as FE and HE. There are currently 8 going on to 9 schools involved in that, and I've listed them there, national and new to join. And we also have 3 primary schools, which is quite interesting for us, because that's a new area that we're doing. So in terms of, what were the challenges facing Ashfield? How did this come about? What is it we're trying to achieve? Well, there was a need for higher technical qualifications, especially in STEM and health careers, and that employers were bringing in talent from outside of Ashfield because they couldn't get the trained people they needed from within. There is an awareness gap between your learners, your parents and teachers about the local opportunities and skills needed in Ashfield. And as we all know, parents and teachers are the biggest influencers on the career decisions that young people make. So that needs to be addressed. There was also this a high percentage of learners entering low-skilled, low-paid jobs. Now, this doesn't kind of match with the high aspirations that young people have in school in terms of what we're seeing them go into once they've left. So we want to kind of do more to address that balance. There's a very low take-up of learners participating in higher education from Ashfield. So it's I think it's just under 25%, and it's been weak for quite a long time. So the engagement with FE and HE partners I've found with all schools to be generally quite weak, and something that we're working with our higher education partners with to try to get more activities and communication going and activities within schools. It's also about bringing more employer engagement into schools. So schools obviously want more employers involved in career-related activities and within the curriculum, as well as the support they're able to offer with work experience and workplace visits as well, which will all help enhance your Gatsby benchmarks, as well as giving a really critical insight to young people of the workplace. And then finally, but no means least, SEND employment. So nationally, the employment rate for those learners with SEND is low. So we want to try and increase participation and movement and transition into skills and learning for those young people as well. So in its essence, it was a project funded for a year. So starting in March, finishes in March 25. By the time we kind of got up and running with schools, it was kind of towards the summer of last year. But we're now on a roll and making some good progress. So we're on about embedding the quality and sustainable careers provision within the school curriculum, brokering those partnerships that I mentioned earlier with local employers, FE and HE. And as part of that, we want to enable students, parents and teachers to become more aware of what the current and future skills are needed. So there is that match between what the aspirations of young people and what is available in their area where the skills need is. We are also tasked with supporting the development of the Succeed in Ashfield work experience framework. Some work was done on that before we got involved, and it's more about the development of that throughout Ashfield. And I've said to Nathan, I'll specifically feed back on that at your next meeting, because a lot of work still need to be done on that particular area. So what's been happening so far? Well, we recommended and purchased the Unifrog placement tool. So a lot of the schools already had Unifrog, which is like a careers platform, if you like, to record careers activities that are done in a school. But it's also got multi-use beyond that. And as an additional add-on, the placement tool supports schools with the administration and rollout of work experience, and it just streamlines that process. So the project funds have been able to support schools with that. We've also been able to provide access to funded 12-month skills builder training. So these are 8 critical employability skills that some schools are mapping against their careers provision along with the Gatsby benchmarks. And a lot of schools have had a lot of success with this, primary as well as secondary. And anybody who wants to know more about that, please do get in touch with me. We've provided What's Your Strength workshops, which gets the learner cohort to look at their own strengths, how they develop skills from different things that they get involved in. Very often students don't always see the transferability of the activities they get involved in, particularly those outside school. And we've got Selston and Hillocks both piloting the My Path digital careers resource, and it might be useful at some point to have Ross feedback on that at a future meeting, because that's a really good, useful resource. I'm looking at short video clips on a range of different jobs. So in addition to that, we've increased employer engagement with things like supporting mock interviews, enterprise activities, as well as offering introductions to employers who have offered and delivered tours for students in Ashfield. We've done a number of parent-student launches now on local labour market opportunities, and started to broker activities with our partners, such as the Festival of Science. I think Megan's talking a bit later on, the Ada Lovelace Day. More recently, we've had conversations with Brad Boost, who I think are also talking today, because they want to get involved in one of our Ashfield schools, and we've put them in touch with Sophie McKenna at Holgate to work with her Aspiring Careers Ashfield cohort. And we're starting to develop and strengthen those links with schools and local FE and HE. So a number of activities now are starting to emerge, which is really great, and we'll just keep that going. The one thing we really wanted was there to be sustainability after this programme, that it wasn't just here it is for 12 months and then there's nothing afterwards. We want to grow these relationships so the school can continue with that beyond the life of the project. And also we're supporting schools by delivering some careers appointments for learners either on alternative provision, which is what we did at Holgate, or the project cohort that have got no career ideas. And typically we seem to be working with year 10s a lot, and Sutton, for instance, are without a careers advisor, so it makes sense to support them at this moment in time with the cohort that's got no career aspirations. So we're helping with that. Right, so kind of how have we been doing? Well, those project outputs and outcomes, they were defined by the council. They set the minimum targets that they wanted us to achieve. And then in the end column, I've given you an indication of how we're doing so far, with about just over 3 months to go. And from that, you can see that we've nearly doubled the number of learners engaged in the programme, which is smashing to see. And there's more to come, so that's going to get even bigger. We're doing okay-ish with the parents engaged. I'd like to see it a little bit higher. I'm very happy to work with Ross on doing more work with parents at the time of work experience. I think that's a good route in. Nearly there with a number of teachers engaged, although I think we've just lost 3 with Selston, but we need to kind of get back. But there's certainly more we could do with them. Where we seem to be low at the moment is the number of students taking part in work experience or on workplace visits. And there are an awful lot of challenges why that is the case. I'm aware of that. And also the timing of things. So, as I said earlier, the project didn't really get going until the summer, by when most of the work experience for that year had already taken place, and the next cycle is coming up in the summer. So that accounts for why some of that figure is low. But there are other challenges, like getting students out of school to on workplace visits. And that is something that we're trying to work with each of the schools to try and find out what these structural barriers are, and is there anything that we can do with our project funds and time that will help to address any of those issues. So the number of attending training sessions is almost double, and the students familiarised with employer expectations is low at the moment, but there's a lot of work planned early in the new year. So I know we'll hit that and probably exceed that particular target. The last one, the number of students experience reduced structural barriers. I think I had to ask at the time, what do you mean by structural barriers? But what we seem to have uncovered is a lot of Ashfield young people don't like to travel too far in terms of their going to work or going to work experience. You know, Mansfield, Nottingham, other side of the moon. You know, they really like something very, very local. And that does kind of limit sometimes some of the opportunities to them. So again, that is something we want to work with the schools on, to look at activities. What can we do as a group of people to address that particular issue? In terms of tasks left, obviously we've got working on the work experience framework. We are intending to put together an employer guide for schools to use to engage with employers. We're in the process of rolling out the Ashfield Career Champions Initiative. Don't know, Nathan, did you want to say anything about that at this point?
Yeah, just briefly. So it's obviously Ashfield District Council as an employer want to work with local schools to raise those aspirations of, you know, one day potentially moving into the council as an employer. So we've created a bank of volunteers across a number of departments within the council, and we're calling them career champions. So Bertie Chadwick on the call, he's coordinating the programme, and sort of the champions going out to schools and partaking in some of the career related activities. So, you know, like some mock interview days and yeah, school talks, things like that. So we've got a bank of volunteers, and it's something that we're wanting to grow as well. We're wanting more volunteers that can go out into schools and share insights as to how they you know, share their career journey to date, basically.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan. We've recently taken on an employer engagement coordinator that will be able to assist our project schools, putting them in touch with local employers. It became a big job, and we just decided that it would be better if we employed someone that could work more closely with schools on that one. We've just recently taken National on board to help with their employer engagement, and I've already mentioned about supporting schools reducing the structural barriers. So in terms of what's coming up, I just wanted to kind of flag these up to the schools. So NTU have put an offer together to the project schools. So that's one 1 hour session in school on either engineering, sports science or computer science. These are going to be interactive workshops, and they will work with you on your curriculum areas if you would like them to make something specific to that. They're also offering to put a day visit at NTU Mansfield campus. Again, an interactive workshop, but around the areas of STEM and health. That is for project schools only currently, and the transport costs will be met by the project on that one. Reach for the Stars, I'm going to tell you about on my next slide, so I'll skip over that one. We've got Takeover Radio in Ashfield offering live experience in digital media. Now, with Nick, he'll either come into school and do a session with students who are interested in that area, or he can actually convert it into a work experience placement. So we can put you in touch with Nick if that is something your students would benefit from. It is a radio station designed for a young audience, and that's in Ashfield. And then we've got ongoing collaborations such as the Environment Agency and the Engineering Development Trust, who are very keen and eager to get into all schools, not just our project schools, but any schools really. And have already got activities that they can use with students who are interested in those areas. finally, so Reach for the Stars. This is hot off the press. It's only agreed as of last week. So it'll be a collaboration between Aspiring Careers Ashfield and Nottingham Trent University. We're working with John Wright on this. And it's going to be a Science and Technology Careers Expo on the 24th of March. And it will be held at the Science Discovery Centre at Sherwood Observatory. We went last week and had a look round and had a chat with them. So what we're planning is to have up to 30 interactive exhibitors from local businesses in Ashfield and just the conurbation outside, related to aerospace and STEM. There are a huge number of companies in Ashfield who are manufacturing or working with the aerospace industry. And I really feel that young people are not aware of this. And the Sherwood Observatory is such a brilliant place to have an event like that. So it will be for Key Stage 4 and 5 students with an interest in science and technology. This one is open to all Ashfield schools, but there will be limited places, not a massive venue. And so there will be timed entry of about 1.5 hours. There will be 2 planetarium showings during the day. And again, if you're one of our project schools, there will be support with transportation costs there. So I just wanted to tell you that. And that's it, really. Any questions?
Have you got any questions from? Oh, there's a hand up, Michaela. Have you got a question for Michelle?
Yeah, it's not really a question. I'm one of the very lucky project schools, and I just wanted to say a massive thank you in this forum because we're benefiting so much from it. And, it's been a fantastic experience, and we've been put in touch with lots of new contacts, and yeah, it's been brilliant. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michaela. And what I didn't say is your school is actually, we're funding you to go for your Quality and Career Standard Award, which would be great for the school. So and have sustainability as well. So I'm really pleased about that. Thank you.
I'd like to second Michaela as well, because obviously we're one of the schools involved and we've got a lot out of it, mainly trialling the UniFrog placement tool as a new way of doing work experience, which will have a massive impact to our school as our school, but not our school, as a trust of 9 schools. Because if we end up using the UniFrog placement tool, it is going to make sure that the money can be used in other ways rather than outsourcing it to other companies. So that's really interesting to see how that's working. It's been a real positive, and lots to come on. You mentioned about parents and in your thing about involving parents. I know this is something that's coming out of the new Gatsby benchmarks. I think that's going to be a real challenge for us as careers leaders is contacting parents. I know from like launching a parent and pledge, and I've had not a single person want to pledge their support. I think they're the hardest to reach. The children are in school, parents are not in school. Some parents have a real negative view of school because they had a poor time at school. So I think the parents is going to be the biggest challenge we're going to have moving forward as a group of people in careers. Really do. Yeah. Ruth, you got a question?
I think we've got to look at different ways of engaging with them. I know when we did the parent launch, we did it face to face, an event after school. Yeah. With Sutton, we're trialing it digitally, so we're going to go webinar because they say they've had more success with that. So we're going to try that and see if that works any better. So yeah,
interesting feedback from that. Ruth, you got a question for Michelle?
It's not a question. Parents' evenings and had stands on careers in the civil service, mainly year 10, 11 and 12, 13. And we find that some parents do come and talk to us. So it's just a different way.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've only got the motivated parents that have come to the parents' evening, but it's a stand.
Yeah, and that's the difficult one. It's actually not the motivated. We found it's not the motivated parents we need to be reaching. The motivated parents, the ones that are going to support their young people, their family to go into careers. It's the ones we're struggling with is the ones who are not as motivated. I don't want to say not motivated at all, but that's the ones that we're really trying to reach from, because those are the ones that we potentially might have NEET students or not aspiring to go to higher education.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe you could offer the parents other things like free IT skills and offer them something to come in and then do it on the back of that.
That's interesting. We've offered them tea and coffee. That tends to work. Food works. Food's a good leveler. Laura, you got
something for them, I think.
Yeah, good idea. Laura, have you got a question for Michelle?
I do, yes, thank you. It's actually still on this topic of parents. I think parent engagement is so important. I noticed, Michelle, thank you for your presentation. I noticed that you had in your target number of parents engaged. I'd just be really interesting to know what you count as an engagement with a parent, please.
Well, what we did so far is we invited the parents of the cohort of learners that we're working with to an event to not just launch the project, but also inform them about local labour market information in the area. So we had a range of guest speakers. Gary was one of them, I think. And we had Martin Wrigley and Nick Mellors. I think that's right, Nick Ross.
That is correct.
Yeah. I think Matt Ralph came from the council as well.
Yeah.
So it was an information evening, I think, really, with that.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Any more questions for Michelle? Thank you, Michelle. We're now on to 2.3, Festival of Science Curiosity. Is Megan with us from Ignite?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Megan?
Over to me?
Yes, over to you.
Okay, I have some slides and I'm going to see if I can share them. A million things open. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Hooray. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Megan Shaw. I'm the programs manager at Ignite. We're an education charity based in Nottingham. And our work is all around creativity in education. So we run a whole range of programs all year round, all around kind of nurturing creativity and curiosity in children and young people. Some of our work is in the community. So we run after school programs, we run holiday clubs, and kind of sometimes we run specific projects with specific community groups. And we also work through schools. So we work through all range of schools. We have a project, an early years program. We deliver programs to primary schools, secondary, special schools, alternative provision, pretty much everything. And we program the Nottinghamshire Festival of Science and Curiosity, which happens every year in February. The festival kind of takes place over a 2-week period in February, and the next festival in 2025 is going to be the 10th festival that we've run. In the early days, it was much more kind of focused on Nottingham in the city, but in the past kind of 5 years, we've really expanded the reach of the programme. We're delivering events and activities right across the county. Couple of photos. So the aim of the festival is about increasing engagement with science and curiosity through kind of positive experiences of science and people having a good time, which is often the fun element is often forgotten with this kind of work. But seeing science as something that's an exciting, interesting, positive experience. We want to be changing perceptions about science as part of our everyday lives, so kind of changing the kind of preconceptions that young people have about who scientists are, what they look like, how they talk, what they do, and kind of removing this idea that science only happens in labs and is kind of remote from our lives, and it being much more about kind of science in our everyday lives. The element of curiosity is very important to us in the name. So when we talk about science and curiosity, we're not just limiting ourselves to kind of, biology, chemistry, physics. We have content involved in the festival that really is kind of across the whole of the STEM kind of world, but also a lot of stuff around sustainability and innovation, and the arts as well. And the festival has this aim of kind of creating this network of people working in the space of kind of science engagement. So we do a lot of work connecting schools with, researchers and venues with people doing kind of science activities. So that's kind of very important to us as well. So yeah, as I said, the festival's 2 weeks. The first week is always the last week, the kind of the first half of the spring half term. So we find that's quite a good time to be doing work in schools. We have a whole range of different opportunities that schools can get involved in. We can provide researchers, scientists, people to go and deliver workshops in your schools. We have opportunities for people to come off site and visit different sites. We have opportunities for them to join calls with researchers or kind of virtual kind of meetings. And we also run an event called the Real Science in School Symposium, which is kind of like a science fair, and it's an opportunity for pupils to present their own science projects to their peers and see what other young people have been doing in their schools. We also produce a magazine for the festival, which is something that we started during COVID when we couldn't run a science festival because we couldn't, you couldn't do any events. But so all the people who would have normally been delivering activities in schools and in venues put together articles, puzzles, that kind of thing, into a magazine that we printed and distributed. And we found it to be a really effective way to kind of communicate with different audiences, particularly young people who might not be brought along to our public events program by their families. But if they get a magazine through school, they might flick through it. So we keep producing that. We work with students from Confetti College to do all the graphic design, and we can, we'll be printing about 10,000 copies of that, and we can distribute that to you. And then the second week of the program is our public events program, so it's the half-term week, and we have kind of a whole range of drop-in events and bookable workshops right across Nottinghamshire, working a lot through libraries and museums and community venues to kind of use accessible spaces that families can bring their family along to find out more about the amazing science happening in our region. So yeah, the dates of the next festival are the 10th to the 21st of February. And how can you get involved? So I mentioned the magazines. So we kind of print based on the demand. So I can, after I've stopped talking, I can put a whole load of links in the chat, but all of this you can find on our website as well. So the website link is there, and if you go to the 2025 page, you can see all different things you can get involved in. But basically, if you want, the magazines are really targeted at kind of year 5, 6, 7. So for secondary schools, if you wanted 100 copies of the festival magazine, you can put that in our form, and we'll add it to our distribution list, and we'll drop them off to you in kind of mid to late January, and you can distribute them. If any of you are involved in other community groups, Brownies, Scouts, Guides, or if community centres or your children's schools and things like that, please ask us for as many as you want. We're keen to get them out there, really. So yeah, you can sign up for magazines. I mentioned the symposium. So this year we're running 3 symposia, I think is the correct way to say it. On Tuesday the 11th, we'll be running one in Nottingham City, and we'll also be running one in Mansfield. The one in Mansfield is going to be at the library, and then we're also on the Wednesday, we're also running one for special schools as well. So there's a morning and an afternoon session for special schools. It's a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. So for the symposium, there's no set theme. It's very much up to you as a school to decide. You might have a STEM club, or you might have a particular group of young people in your school that are really passionate about science, and they want to kind of come and showcase what they've been doing. We often have people come bring like little demonstrations of what they've been doing, or posters or photos. And it's kind of, yeah, it's like a little science fair. And they spend half the time presenting what they've done to their other students, and then half the time going and having a look around what everybody else has done. If anybody wants to have a bit more of a chat about that as an opportunity, I'm happy to have calls with anybody. We've also put together some activities, a bit of a resource pack. We've currently got the primary one. It's going to be on our website very soon. And the secondary one is going to be more focused around kind of STEM careers in Nottinghamshire. So an opportunity to use that resource during festival week. Those kinds of opportunities are limited, obviously, because the festival is in February and it takes a lot of time to plan. So I would really encourage you all to start to think about how we could work together for future festivals. So the way that we work with schools is that we open up a kind of a registration form, and we'll open that back up pretty much as soon as the festival is finished in February. And through that form, you can tell us the kinds of things that you think would be really valuable for us to help program in your school. So there might be a gap in your engineering, maybe your engineering students haven't had an opportunity to visit a site, or you've not had any biologists come in, or if you've got gaps that we can help fill from the career side, but also from curriculum side as well. So if there are elements of the kind of STEM curriculum that your staff kind of struggle to bring alive, we can think about how we could work with our links with the universities and with local businesses to kind of work with you to develop an activity that's going to bring that alive. We probably find quite a lot of our primary schools struggle with delivering some of the kind of physics curriculum, for example, and we have a lot of students that we work with to help come and do demonstrations about light or electricity and things like that. So yeah, please, the more information that you can give us about what the need in your school, then we can really work with that and hopefully plan something with you that's going to be more impactful than if we had kind of an off-the-shelf festival program. So yeah, so come to us with ideas. We obviously, I'm talking here about the festival today, but at Ignite we run programs all year round. So there's other ways that we could work together. If you'd like to reach out to us, we're here. That's our kind of, yeah, I've hopefully explained a bit about what we're aiming to do. That the festival is a way of us doing that, but it's not the only way. So yeah, so please have a look on our website. My email address is in the meeting invitation, I think. Very open to conversations. And yes, I think that's my last slide. Yeah, it is. Open to any questions and stuff as well.
Thank you, Megan. Anybody any questions for Megan about the Festival of Science or Ignite as a whole? No? Thank you, Megan, for that. Lots of things there. We're going to move quickly on. We are a little bit running behind a little bit, I'm afraid. We'll quickly go on to Gabby, who's going to talk about Grad Boost. Are you ready, Gabby?
I am. I can't quite believe I have to follow the science and curiosity bit. I don't think mine will be quite as exciting as that. But let me just share my screen. There you go. And can I check that you can see that okay, Ross?
Yep. Yes, no problems. Perfect.
Perfect. Good stuff. So thank you for having me today. I'll try and be as brief as possible, and thank you to Nathan as well for the invite today. So I'm Gabby. I work for a small organisation called Grad Consult, and we specialise in graduate employment and recruitment. So we are working with Ashfield District Council to deliver a pretty exciting new programme for the region called Grad Boost. So I'm going to talk for about 5 minutes about the project, and then I'm going to ask you to do some thinking about any ways that you can potentially raise awareness of the project amongst your graduates, and then I'll take a few questions at the end. So what is the project? So the Ashfield Graduate Talent Match Project, which is a bit of a mouthful, so we're calling Ashfield Grad Boost, is funded by the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. It'll end in March 2025, so we don't have a huge amount of time left on the project. So the main aim of the programme is to boost the employment of graduates who are in Ashfield. So we're really focusing on supporting graduates to gain employment, but once they are in employment, we're also supporting them to sustain that, because graduates can find it really challenging to sustain employment in their first graduate level job. So we're working with 3 distinct streams of activity. The first stream is supporting those graduates who are looking for work. Secondly, we're working to support those graduates who are in work. And then finally, we'll be supporting businesses in Ashfield that are interested in recruiting graduates. Perhaps they don't have the know-how, or they want some support in finding the right graduates for their business. I'm not going to be talking in today's session about the support for businesses, but if this is something that you're interested in, please do let me know and we can have a chat separately outside of this call. So firstly, we're supporting graduates who are either unemployed or employed in a job that doesn't use their graduate level skills and knowledge. So this will include graduates who left university this summer in 2024, but it will also include graduates who left their university earlier than that, but are still struggling to enter the labour market. The graduates that we're working with have to be from Ashfield originally, but they could have gone to university anywhere. So from Aberystwyth to Westminster. I couldn't think of a university with a name beginning with Z, so Westminster was the best that I could do. So just to bring our support to graduates to life, I'd like to introduce you to Akash. So Akash is from Ashfield and he commuted to the University of Derby to study marketing. Akash graduated in 2024 and has been looking for a job in Ashfield that uses his marketing skills and knowledge, but he hasn't had very much luck so far. And as a result, his confidence is a bit low. He's a bit disengaged with his job search. So perhaps he's been working with the DWP, or maybe he saw an email from his school or college that he used to attend that was talking about this Ashfield Grad Boost programme. So either way, he hears about the programme and he books a coaching meeting with myself or with one of my team. And during that meeting, we work with Akash to discuss his goals and what stepping stones he might take to achieve his kind of career aspirations. Every conversation that we have with graduates is unique and it really depends on their circumstances, what they're looking to go into, what barriers they're facing in getting graduate level employment in Ashfield. So we might give Akash some tips on searching for jobs in Ashfield. We might give him some advice on any courses that might be relevant to him. For example, digital marketing courses that are run by ADC. We'll also signpost him to some webinars that we've created and resources as well. And we'll sign him up to a graduate jobs board, which will connect him with vacancies with employers that we're working with. After about a month or so, we'll get back in touch with Akash to see how he's getting on. It might be that he still needs some support with his job search, and there might be more support that we can provide to him. We'll also invite him to a community day in Ashfield with a local charity to meet other graduates and businesses and to support his local community in Ashfield. But as I mentioned earlier, we're also supporting graduates in Ashfield to sustain employment. So graduates can find the transition from being a student to being a professional in their first graduate job pretty difficult at times. And we often hear from employers that they're concerned that their graduate isn't progressing as quickly as they expected or isn't hitting the ground running as they expected them to. We can often find some challenges here. So we really wanted to support graduates as they go through that big transitionary period in their lives out of university and into the labour market. So meet Sophia. Sophia is employed as a finance coordinator with a local construction firm in Ashfield and has been working for the company for about 3 weeks now. So Sophia might have been told about the Ashfield Grad Boost programme by her employer, or alternatively, we might have worked with Sophia previously and supported her to get her job. Either way, Sophia is encouraged to book a coaching session with one of our team where she discusses how things are going, any objectives that she's got coming up, anything that she's struggling with or finding challenging in her role. So we might talk about Sophia's areas for development and help her put together an action plan to address those areas. We might give her some tips on employers' expectations and advice on any further courses she might want to take to continuously improve her skills and knowledge. Again, like with Akash, we'll follow up with Sophia after about a month to see how she's getting on and whether there's any additional support we can provide to her to help her thrive in her first graduate job. We'll also invite Sophia to the Community Day so that she can gain some additional volunteering, connect with her local graduates, and again, give back to her local community. So our support to graduates is really individual to each graduate. It's all about understanding where they're at, understanding what barriers they're facing, and using our expertise as graduate recruiters to support them to transition into the labour market. But you might be sat there thinking, what does support to graduates have to do with us in schools? Well, you know, it's a huge achievement to go to university to get a degree. But unfortunately, graduates, some of whom might be from your schools, who are from Ashfield and want to return to the region for work, often find it really challenging to transition into the labour market. And we know from speaking to graduates that the longer that they're, struggling to find that first graduate level job, the more difficult it is for them to transition into graduate level employment. So you'll do some amazing work to support your students whilst they're at school and achieve their potential. And if you're able to, it would be great if you could support us to raise awareness amongst your alumni communities who may have gone on to attend university. So I've put some of my own ideas on the slide for how you might be able to help us connect to graduates, but I don't know you very well and I don't know your school context. So these are purely just some things that have come out of my brain. So I'm going to give you just 1 minute to use the chat to just think about anything that you might be able to do to talk about the Ashfield Grad Boost programme to your alumni communities or people who've left your school and might have gone on to study at university and come back to the region. So any ideas you might have are very welcomed. Some of the things I thought about were maybe alumni networks, things like email chains that you have, LinkedIn groups or alumni meetups, your individual networks, whether you know of friends or family members who are graduates or have graduates in their family who might be looking for that first graduate level job, or any communities or groups that you might recommend. So I'll let you just have a think. Okay, thank you, Ross. We have a small developing alumni on LinkedIn. Happy to share your work on there. That's brilliant. We can get some nice images and text across to you. Social media, Ashfield Group. Yes, if you have any suggestions, please do ping them across. We've done a bit of a search. We've found some potential groups, but anything that we've not come across already would be great. And yes, NTU. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for popping your suggestions in the chat. I'll make sure I read them all properly. But just before I do that, any questions about the programme, what we're trying to achieve, or how you can support us to get the message out? If you don't have questions and just want to hear more about the programme, you can either email me or scan the QR code and that will take you to a little kind of add your question page. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. We'll do what we can to share with our alumni, but I'm thinking Ashfield School as well. Obviously, I'm not sure what their alumni is like, but I can speak to the careers advisors across our trust and see if we can get this sort of information out about supporting. I've always said a Selston student that's left is still a Selston student, so we'd like to support them as they grow up and into however far away they are from school. So this is one way we can do that. So thank you for that. That's really helpful. Any questions for Gabby? Okay, we'll move on to the next Article 3, which is Ashfield Community Engagement. Sarah Vaughan, are you there?
Hi, are you all right?
Hi, Sarah.
Hiya. I'll try and keep it brief because I know that we're short on time. So just a few bits to update from last time. We as a team are looking at developing more leadership opportunities in Ashfield for a range of children and young people. So inclusive, mainstream, community, and also NEAT. I have approached a few of the schools regarding some of the inclusive work, and a few have got back to me. So hopefully that'll get going in the new year. Play zones. I think I updated last time that we are having 5 come to Ashfield. The first plan is being submitted this week in hope that it will start obviously early next year. The first plan going forward is Morven Park. So thank you to the schools that actually helped with that insight to try and shape that. Hopefully I'll be able to update more in the next meeting on that one. Next children and young people in Ashfield meeting is planned for Wednesday the 29th of Jan. Anyone that's on our network will have had that invite, but if you are interested in attending that, just drop me an email and I can invite you to that. The focus on that this one next time is vulnerable children and young people. So we'll have a range of speakers just sharing the work that they do, how you can get involved. There'll be network opportunities, and lots of professionals who work with children and young people, support children and young people. Basically anyone who works with children and young people is welcome at that meeting, just to increase opportunities and networking where we can hopefully work together better. And then the last thing we have got an opportunity. I've approached the schools local to the area, but if anyone else is interested in getting involved, we've been given permission for some tree planting with ADC Neighbourhoods team. So like I say, if anyone wants to get involved, just drop me an email and I can refer you on. The locations that are being looked at is Beacon Drive and Holidays Hill in Kirkby, and then Morven Park as well. Dates for that are agreed to be mid to late Jan and February, and the neighbourhoods team will work around what you can offer with your young people. So if anyone is interested, just drop me an email. I know a few schools have already got back to me on that as well. So yeah, that's everything. Kept it brief.
Thank you, Sarah, for giving it so brief, but lots there. Any questions for Sarah? What was the day of the Jan event, Sarah?
The meeting, Children and Young People Network meeting, Wednesday, 29th of Jan.
What time is that at? Sorry, just to give us an idea.
It usually runs 9 till about 12:30, but you can get there earlier and stuff for like tea and coffee and that.
Right. Okay. I'll pass that on to someone in our school that might be interested. Right. Any questions for Sarah? Thank you, Sarah. Bertie, I believe it's over to you now. No, thank you. Over to you now, Bertie.
Yes, it is. So yeah, I'm just going to do a brief overview of the Education Skills Improvement Plan. So I will share my screen now. I know it's something we've looked at before, so it's quite nice to keep it top of mind and just let you guys know that we're still on top of it. So yeah, this is sits in part of our ADC Knowledge Hub, which is kindly kind of curated by our policy and performance team. So kind of a big thank you to them for putting this together. It's something that we use not only for ESIP, but as well for kind of business intelligence as well, more generally. So yes, let's get into it. So I think the main things to look at this meeting are over the last kind of 3 months has been a quite good improvement in terms of the employment rate and economic inactivity. So as we know, these are quite closely related. Obviously, as your employment rate goes up and down, your economic inactivity is likely to mirror that. But we're seeing that this is kind of coming back to this grey line here being the East Midlands. We're seeing that the green line, which is Ashfield, is returning to that. Obviously, our goal is always to be better than the East Midlands, but to be kind of almost at parity is good news, especially kind of seeing the depths that it was kind of had trended towards just before the start of 2024. So that's nice. Claimant rate data. This is yes, sometimes the way that these systems work with each other means it's not necessarily flawless, but if we look at the end of the trend, we can see that it's been slightly increasing, and I think this is kind of a similar trend to East Midlands really in terms of shape. It's just, again, we would like to see Ashfield closer to the East Midlands in terms of like the raw percentage, and with the claimant rate as well in the 50s, we see that's quite similar to the East Midlands, just a slightly elevated number there. So that's the kind of labour market information that we like to look at. Going on to the next slide. So we've recently had the 2023 qualifications data is kind of all completed as we've moved towards the end of 2024. It's kind of time lagged. It's just the way that this data works, and it's been a bit disheartening, not disheartening, but maybe a bit challenging that we've seen a bit of a reduction across pretty much across every measure really in terms of the level of qualifications that are held by our residents, and that's kind of in contrast to the East Midlands, which we've seen a growth in each area. So that's something that is something we're already focusing on in the next action plan as well. So yeah, just kind of keeping that aware for us. On some more good news, if we look at business startup rate, we can see that the green bars are the Ashfield rate, and you've got the grey line, which is East Midlands, and the red line, which is England. So we see that we're largely on parity with the East Midlands, which is kind of what we'd expect really. It's kind of a regional data that, but again, we're quite high above the England total, which is always good to see. And survival rates is kind of all sticking the same, but that's 2022 data there. So yes, moving on. Another bit of good news is kind of looking at people's destinations going on. So specifically looking at these bottom two graphs here, we're seeing on the 2023 data here that trend of slightly increasing and staying kind of away from the East Midlands, not away, but slightly elevated on their figure, has kind of continued on. So that's always good to see. Kind of people going into further education and training, yes, so that's something that we think that alternate provision in Ashfield is something that's quite strong, something we've identified, especially apprenticeships, is something that we do quite well in kind of moving people onto that and really meeting people where they are with that, I think is key when you're looking at destinations into apprenticeships, because as we know, higher education isn't for everyone. So yeah, I think that's a really good measure. So this is kind of the apprenticeship data in a bit more detail. It's kind of hard to discern really any kind of trends from this, just because of the way that it's kind of presented. But we haven't seen any drop-offs or anything, which is good. And yeah, in the apprenticeship completions as well, we've seen a slight rise in this. So this is per 100,000. We've seen this year 622 compared to 587 last year. So that's kind of meaning that people are continuing to complete their apprenticeships here in Ashfield. Obviously, that 2018 data, that's kind of that pre-COVID period. We've not really seen a recovery to there, but hopefully moving forward, we will see this kind of small gradual increase, maybe materialize into something more substantial. But yeah, I think are generally quite positive in terms of apprenticeships. So yeah, that's just a whistle-stop tour, I think, with the time that we have. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please do ask, and if anyone would like this sending to them as well, it's something that I can distribute upon request.
Thank you, Bertie. Has anybody got any questions for Bertie? Once again, Bertie, lots of data there, lots of information for us to digest.
Yes.
and find out how, what impact we're having later on. It's always very interesting in what we're dealing with, and for schools, knowing what's out there and what people are going to is really interesting. It's interesting you mentioned apprenticeships as well, as being very popular in our area. I would totally agree with that as well. Nathan, have you got some action plan updates?
Yeah, I can give you a brief update. Obviously, I'm conscious of time as well, so
I'm time as well, because obviously we're getting near to the end. But yeah, go on, Nathan.
Yeah, so just leading on from Bertie's presentation, so some of the performance measures that we're not performing as strongly in. So we are measuring our performances against the East Midlands averages. We've put an action plan together. It's a collaborative action plan to drive those performance measures forward, really, to improve those figures. The adult skills, so we've got the secondary schools network, we've got an adult skills partnership as well. Adult skills partnership organisations have formed this action plan, and it's now in delivery over the next 2 years. So I did share an impact report with this network. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that, but at the bottom of the impact report you can actually see the action plan. So you can see what our priority measures are and some of the activities that we'll be working through, which will contribute towards those improvements. So just to let you know what the priority measures are. So over the next 2 years, our focus will be on driving down economic inactivity, ensuring new businesses are supported to achieve sustainable growth. So not just supporting businesses to start up, but also to survive and grow within the district. Looking at higher level skills, so supporting residents to develop their skills to level 3 or above. Working with the DWP to reduce the claimant count within the district. And finally, real focus on STEM, so growing the amount of STEM vacancies and ensuring these are being filled locally. So these are our priority measures. Obviously, it's business as usual with other measures. We've mentioned previously that we're proud to say that we're very strong in the apprenticeship arena around moving people into apprenticeships. So obviously that will continue, but the action plan is just to give us a focus really on some measures that we just need to work on and drive forward over the next couple of years. So you've received the impact report. If you've not received a copy, then just let me know. I can resend that to you. There's a version on our website. So if you go on the Ashfield District Council website, Education and Skills Improvement Plan, you can see the action plan that is now live on the website. And then we've got a behind the scenes working action plan in form of an Excel document as well. So adult skills partnership organisations are required to update the action plan on a periodic basis to make partners aware of activity and how it's contributing towards those actions. But I'd like to extend the invite to this network as well. So if any schools are wanting to provide any updates onto the action plan, it's not an arduous task. It's just a case of on a monthly basis, just going into there's the instructions at the top of the action plan, and just going in and providing any relevant updates really that will contribute towards those actions being completed. So if you're a school and you're wanting to add value to that action plan delivery, just let me know. I can provide you access and share the Outlook reminder invitation as well. We would really welcome your support. But obviously we'll continue to provide updates in these network meetings to let you know how we're progressing against the action plan, what's outstanding, what's completed, etc. as well. So we'll definitely keep you posted of how we're doing. But yeah, we'll definitely welcome your support over the next 2 years. So unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Nathan? Thank you, Nathan. That brings us to the last thing, which is any other business. Has anyone got any other business before I finish today? Got 3 minutes left. Okay. I gather there's no other business. Just notes for diaries. Very excited about the 10th of March. I've already asked for the time off work and it's been granted, so I can do this. The 10th of March 2025, Sherwood Observatory. I'd love to see as many of you there as possible. It'd be great to see you a lot of you in person. I know I've met a lot of you in person before, but some of you have not met in person. And then the final meeting of this academic year will be the 9th of June, which will be back on Teams, which would be fantastic. So I'd like to just close this meeting by saying thank you for everybody that's come tonight. Thank you for all your input. Lots to take away. People who've missed this meeting have missed out, as I've always said. Nathan's got his hand up.
Yeah, just to add on to the next event at Sherwood Observatory, I would really appreciate individuals on this call to help sort of grow the list of members, into that meeting. So all your school contacts, any businesses from the private sector as well that are engaging with schools, feel free to ask them to make an introduction to me, and I can add them to the mailing list. And it's a network that we're really wanting to grow. From growing representation from schools, partners that can support and offer career-related activities, but also businesses as well that can offer work experiences, etc. as well. So yeah, just an ask from me really to help us grow this network. Thank you.
No problems. No problems. Thank you. So unless anyone's got any business, I think that's it. Close. Once again, I said to Nathan, thank you very much for all attending, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all and more on the 10th of March. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank you. Happy
all.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye. Everybody's on. And that was it. Thank you very much.